A Huntsville woman blames a Huntsville police officer for the loss of her unborn child.
Keisha Purcell claims a simple traffic stop led to her being roughed up in a matter of minutes. That woman filed a complaint with Huntsville police but says nothing significant has been done. That's where WFF 48 Sarah DeVoy steps in. Sarah, you've been trying to get information about this incident for months now.
I have. We filed several public records requests to try to get information about this traffic stop and about his past disciplinary actions. And we didn't get what we asked for necessarily, but in the process, we found several other questionable violations.
Give me a supervisor, please.
The desperation in her voice is hard to miss. Keisha Purcell says in a matter of minutes, what could have been a simple traffic stop turned into this. Purcell says unnecessary force was used to pull her out of the vehicle and onto the hood of a police car. Purcell says it all started when Officer David Beatty pulled her over for a light being out.
And I still didn't know that he was talking to me. I was getting out of his way.
She says when she finally realized it was her being pulled over, she stopped right away, but apparently not in the right spot.
Pull up to the next intersection now.
It upsets me. My stomach is turning.
After about 8 minutes of dash camera video, Purcell is in the back of a police car. Officers say she resisted arrest. Purcell says there was not a reason for an arrest in the first place. It's a game of he said, she said until Purcell received this, a letter from Huntsville Police Chief Lewis Morris. One, she says, while vague, does seem to admit fault.
It says the investigation to your complaint has been completed and action has been taken to address the situation.
It goes on to say, quote, every precaution is being taken to make sure this type of incident does not happen in the future. The police chief will not comment on the letter or the case because it's still making its way through the courts. We did reach out to Officer Beatty himself. He wanted to sit down with me and explain, but said he would need permission from Chief Morris first. Beatty did tell us he was disciplined for his, quote, rudeness. He says the discipline was in the form of a written reprimand. And we learned that wasn't his first one. After months of requesting documents related to Officer Beatty and his status with the department, we were given about 100 pages of his history on the job. Beatty has been disciplined at least 4 times for losing a nearly $2,000 two-way radio, failing to appear in court on multiple occasions, resulting in at least one case being thrown out, and for using his lights and/or sirens to go through at least 2 intersections, and not due to a crime being committed, but because he was running late to classes he was taking. He was also accused on another occasion of being discourteous and detaining someone for an unreasonable amount of time. That accusation, though, was deemed unfounded by Internal Affairs. But despite the official reprimands, Beatty never received anything less than an effective rating on a yearly performance appraisal form since he started in 2006. He also received several outstanding reviews and continued raises. A captain with the department says that's because a few mistakes or bad decisions aren't enough to warrant a marginal or unacceptable review.
It's really difficult.
Purcell says the reprimand showed just a glimpse of the officer Beatty really is. She says the dash cam video shows the truth, what she calls abuse of power and excessive force. Force, she says, ended a life.
I thought I was having a miscarriage right then.
But Purcell waited to go to the doctor for a few weeks. She says her doctor couldn't make an official ruling, but that the incident could have contributed to the death of her baby, a baby that would have had an immediate sister.
They did an ultrasound right then, and they told me that I had twins, but one of them had already passed maybe a couple of weeks before. The thought of it being 2.
Although it's been 8 months, Purcell says the pain is still fresh. She hopes speaking out will keep others from feeling the same.
Purcell is home now taking care of her newborn baby daughter. She says she is appealing her conviction of obstruction and resisting arrest. She claims the judge didn't watch the dash camera video we just showed you. After getting over that hurdle, she does plan to take legal action herself. Now, as for Officer Beatty, he is still an active police officer with HPD. About 2 hours ago, a captain with the police department called to say Beatty must have changed his mind about speaking about this situation. He doesn't want to speak about it anymore. If he changes his mind, though, we will certainly follow up and post the full interview on WAFF.com.